Good morning, everybody. It is May 2nd, 2018, 5:59 a.m., just about 6 a.m. here in the Northeast, Eastern Standard Time for me. All right, you're looking at a severe weather chart. This is where our focus is going to be for today. We had a pretty big hail event, apparently in Nebraska, near Omaha, up to 5 to 6, even 7 inches in diameter hail. Which is pretty significant. That's almost softball size, if not maybe a little bigger in some areas. I haven't seen any pictures, just article reports. Basically, this chart works as follows. The deep red color is your severe area, followed by that tan-looking color. Then we got the yellow, the darker green, and then the light green. This is covering a lot of the U.S. because we have a big moisture system moving across the U.S. We also have, around Friday, is expected that tropical wave we've been following down by the Bahamas, which will be by the Bahamas around the 4th, will begin to affect South Florida around Friday into Saturday. Now, no talks about it become a tropical storm yet, possibly tropical depression. We're still following that wave, but the main concern today is what's going on in the center of the country, as well as a big area in Texas is expected to get some severe weather. That could involve a lot of hail, sideways rain, wind rain, because of the low pressure central area. So anyway, here is our tornado warning area, up to 10%. We got up through Oklahoma and Kansas. That touches the top northern area of Texas here. Then we have this little spot down here, and we'll see on Tropical Tidbits as this makes its way over Texas through Friday into Saturday. We'll take a look at that. But then we have areas of Iowa, Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, sorry, still early, drinking coffee. Kentucky and Tennessee, you will be at risk for tornadoes over the weekend, and we're going to look at that again, like I said. Actually, let's check out one more here. Here is the wind situation that we are going to be dealing with today. This is the northeast corner of Kansas going into Missouri, and then Iowa. Obviously, we got 90%, 45%, 30% rather, not 90. This is where the higher wind rates are going to be throughout the day today. This changes hourly, so this is what we're going to see today. Tomorrow, maybe over in this area, it begins to break up over the Great Lakes as it makes its way towards the northeast. We can see that percentage down here rising. That's because that's another part of a system moving up through Texas that we're going to look at once again on Tropical Tidbits. Here is our hail area. You can see this big red circle here. This is where we want to be concerned. This is where Nebraska is, the bottom right corner of Nebraska. We need to be looking out for hail there. Obviously in Kansas, all over the state of Kansas, through Missouri and Iowa, and that is going to move into Illinois and then Indiana. So we have a lot of hail to look out for. Damaging hail, guys. This isn't like your little pea-sized hail. This is golf ball sized and up. In some areas, so you need to be aware that it does damage to siding, your car, clearly, all sorts of things that just should not be hit by heavy chunks of ice. Let's just put it that way. That's what hail basically is. All right, let's look at our Doppler radar here. Let's back it up. I want to show you guys something pretty interesting. Wait till you see this explosion of moisture that takes place over, looks like through the central areas of Kansas, Nebraska, and then South Dakota. This was a few hours ago, but check this out. This is why we're getting some of this hail. Look at how these deep greens, this is a lot of moisture, guys. When you see these green colors like that, that is moisture up the yin-yang, basically, to put it lightly. Now, you can see this explode, and it just begins to cover so many states here. We got Minnesota, Iowa, Missouri, all the way down. This bleeds down into Arkansas. Then it's going to be pushing into Indiana, Michigan, up through the Great Lakes. And this is where we're at right now as far as the last frame goes. This would be current time. You can see those deep greens have dissipated a little bit from where this storm started. That's why we had such high hail reports in this part of Nebraska, and even Kansas got a lot of hail. So that area, if you just match the charts here, this stuff gets pretty self-explanatory. You can see why our main warnings are in this area of the country. That's because check out where our deep green colors are. Excuse me, guys. So for those of you that are trying to learn this stuff and get good with these charts so you could do this on your own, this is what you want to look for. A lot of these charts say the same areas are covered in our warnings and watches, and that goes along with the Doppler radar from our satellites. So anyone can pick this stuff up, guys. It's not hard to do. I basically just try to explain it in easier terms than what the Weather Channel and stuff like that explain, and a lot of times we can figure things out easier than they can. So it's pretty amazing. Anyway, here's a look at our jet stream winds. These are all, trade winds, jet stream winds, high altitude winds that control our weather. We can see we have a big dip down over Washington, Oregon, through Northern California, and then it swoops up this way, and that's why this moisture system that we've been looking at, once again, you just match the charts. You can see everything's in the same exact spot. Our different warnings and watches. This is for tornado, this is high wind rates, this is hail. All that big bend coming up through Texas, all the way up through Wisconsin and Illinois, right through this area here. So we can see all these charts are matching up. They're all showing the same exact thing, and that's what we want to look for, and that's how we can determine where the severe weather is going to be. Now we can see this area down here is going to be moving across Texas. We're going to look at that. We got a lot of lightning with this storm, guys. There's a lot of stuff going on in Missouri right now, and move up into Iowa, and then a big area of lightning we got at the border of Wisconsin and Illinois there, and then we can move into Michigan. This is all going to move over the Great Lakes. As it gets cooler air, it might calm down a little bit with the lightning, but nonetheless there's a lot of hail involved. So that is the main story here, hail. And then as we move into the weekend, we're going to have a tornado threat down right in our tornado valley or alley, like we usually do at this time of year. Alright, so let's take a look at this on Tropical Tidbits. We'll back up to May 2nd, which is today. So you can see how these areas of moisture here are beginning to move over towards the Great Lakes. We've got another low pressure system down by Colorado, New Mexico, Arizona, and then it swings up into Utah. So we're going to keep an eye on this as well, because this will be that central weather in Texas that we have to worry about in a couple days. So let's move forwards. This severe area goes over through Texas, over the north side of the Great Lakes. Then as we move into Thursday, midday Thursday, this is where things are going to get interesting. We have this big strip here moving from Iowa into Illinois. This is going to be a severe weather area. Lots of hail, lots of rain. Keep an eye on that because our central low pressure is right here, spinning counterclockwise. It's going to whip winds up that way or the backside as well. And we even have some snow in the backside, probably higher altitudes in Wyoming, Colorado, Rockies, stuff like that. But then we got this strip here in Texas. This is where things are going to get interesting. A lot of rain associated with this. Possibly 4 to 5 inches of rain within a couple-hour period, guys, right over central Texas. That's a big strip there. Texas is a very, very big state. And when you see strips like that, it's definitely call for concern. Local weather will be available, I'm sure, to all of you who live in this area. But keep an eye on that, guys, because we could get tornadoes in Texas. It's very possible. Now let's move into the 3rd, 4th, Friday. Now we got this strip here for the weekend begin. This will be the beginning of the day, so you might be driving through this in the morning. We got a strip up here by Iowa that moves into Minnesota. High rain rates, not too cold for snow, which is a good thing, but still that lower central pressure is right here. Anything close to it, you can expect high wind rates. And also that's where those fronts push with the big hailstorms. You usually get those hailstorms right before a big storm comes. It comes with that cold front. Now we got this strip here also, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, and this is going to bend in. You're going to see right through possibly Pittsburgh and into central Pennsylvania through Saturday. A little bit more north than that. Okay, so the southwest corner of New York, and then we got that strip moving over the Great Lakes, but we can see we're starting to get fuel out of the Caribbean here. It moves up through Mexico here and then right through Texas, so we got to keep an eye on that as well. A lot of rain associated with this, and then look, we have a high pressure and a low pressure. This is where it's going to get windy up in the northeast. The central low pressure is up in Canada, but that means those counterclockwise winds are going to be pushing down from the north, and also the west-east crosswind. It could get very windy in the northeast Friday going into Saturday. You can see right here Cinco de Mayo. It's going to be probably a little soggy for us, and that also concerns Texas as well. That strip comes right back a day and a half later that we just looked at. But look at all these lines with this low pressure. That means a lot of wind. When these lines are closer together and you see a lot of them, you got a lot of wind going on. That's why hurricanes take on that circle shape down here. And there's our tropical wave we got to worry about for Florida Friday moving into Saturday. So if this thing comes down south, we're talking Miami, the Keys of Florida. It looks like the southeast coast of Florida would be the worst hit by this. These are tropical rains. We could get some high wind gusts, you name it, all that stuff, guys. We're getting into hurricane season, so these storms are going to become more and more frequent, swinging up from the west coast of Africa through the Leeward Islands, over Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, and then near the Bahamas, Cuba, and South Florida, and then they make their decision. They go up the East Coast or they go into the Gulf. So a lot of weird weather coming up, guys. And then as we take a look into the future, we got some moisture pulling up from the Gulf into the northeast. Doesn't look like anything severe. We're actually two modes of moisture. This is that low pressure tropical wave we've been looking at. By the time This is actually the second one, believe it or not. According to the GFS, this one makes it through into the Gulf now. Waters aren't quite there yet to support a hurricane, so this will probably die out, but then look right off the coast of the Carolinas come Sunday. Big moisture event here, probably pushing in a lot of waves from the coast. It could be a little rough seas here in the Carolinas for Sunday. And that's pretty much what we got for right now, guys. And then we got another system that is making its way low pressure right here by the southern areas of California. This might move over the Rockies and then up through the central area of the country and then become another system. So we'll be keeping an eye on that as well. But two main concerns is what's going on in Texas all the way up through the Great Lakes, and that tropical wave we're looking at to hit Florida. So there you have it, guys. Those are your watches and warnings for today. And then here, just to confirm our Nebraska deal, another chance of severe weather is forecast for the Omaha area. Now, they're talking 6 to 7 inch diameter hail, like we said in the beginning of the video, guys. So Interstate 80, you live along that area, keep an eye out on your local weather, because that could bring, it's possible to get tornadoes up in that area too, but certainly the hail. So keep an eye out. All right, guys, that's it for today. I'll be back this afternoon. It is 6/10, May 2nd. Everyone have a great day. It's almost the end of the week. We can get there, and we'll meet right back here this afternoon or tomorrow morning. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.